In one of the most devastating events to hit the region this year, massive floods have ravaged multiple provinces across China. Torrential rains, overflowing rivers, and landslides have left towns submerged, families displaced, and critical infrastructure destroyed. Welcome to MMnews, your most reliable source for global news and analysis. In today's detailed report, we dive deep into the heart of the China flood catastrophe, exploring what caused it, the scale of the destruction, the human stories behind the numbers, and what it means for the country's future. The worst flooding in recent years has submerged large swathes of provinces including Hunan, Guangdong, Guangxi, and Fujian. Satellite images show entire cities surrounded by muddy waters. Rivers such as the Yangtze and Pearl have breached banks, with rainfall levels reaching historic highs. In just 24 hours, some areas recorded over 300 millimeters of rain. According to the China Meteorological Administration, this event is not isolated. Climate patterns indicate a shift in rainfall intensity due to climate change and the El Niño effect. As of today, over 1 million people have been directly affected by the floods. Tens of thousands have been evacuated from submerged homes. Tragically, at least 200 people are confirmed dead or missing. Entire villages have been wiped off the map, and in some cities, rooftops are the only visible structures. We spoke to survivors and first responders, who describe scenes of chaos. Children rescued on inflatable boats, families wading through neck-high waters, and desperate cries for help echoing through flooded neighborhoods. The Chinese government has deployed emergency rescue teams, helicopters, and military support. Thousands of volunteers are working around the clock distributing food, water, and medical supplies. President Xi Jinping has called for all-out efforts to ensure safety and disaster relief. But criticism has surfaced, with some citizens saying evacuation notices came too late, and flood barriers in some areas failed to hold. The question arises, were authorities fully prepared? Transportation systems have ground to a halt. Roads and bridges have collapsed, rail lines are submerged, and dozens of power plants have shut down. Agricultural regions have reported crop losses worth billions of yuan. One of the worst-hit areas, Shaoguan, saw more than 90% of its downtown businesses flooded. Small shop owners fear total loss without government support. Meanwhile, communication networks have been patchy, hampering rescue coordination. Messages of solidarity have poured in from around the world. Countries such as Japan, South Korea, and even the United States have offered emergency aid and technical support. Global humanitarian agencies are closely monitoring the situation, urging for immediate climate resilience investment. Experts say that the frequency and severity of flooding in Asia, particularly in China, are rising due to deforestation, overdevelopment, and poorly managed river systems. Climate scientists are urging policymakers to take bolder actions. China has invested in large-scale infrastructure like the Three Gorges Dam, but these are no longer foolproof against such events. It's time to rethink urban planning and environmental protection on a national scale. As China begins the long road to recovery, questions loom. How many lives could have been saved with better preparation? How will these floods reshape the country's future approach to natural disasters? Stay with MMnews for continuous updates on this developing tragedy. If you found this report informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Our thoughts are with those affected by this catastrophe.
report. Note: some footage in this video may be used for illustration and may not show the exact